What on earth is floating?
It's an opportunity to just relax, for one, and get away from all the stresses on the court and in life, but obviously has some physical benefits as well with salt.
One of our trainers, Lachlan, I mean, he is big into kind of alternative ways to recover, so it was a little bit different experience. I mean, I haven't really done anything like this before, but it's nice to kind of come here and relax. It's pretty cool.
You've been floating all season. You've also been winning a lot of games. Coincidence?
Hey, maybe.
This is where I'm gonna be chilling for the next hour.
What are you doing there for an hour?
Just relax and think about all the missed shots I had previous game.
The magnesium in the 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in there apparently helps with soreness. You bouncing back a little quicker, you think?
Back-to-backs, travel, all that type of stuff leaves you sore, so, whenever you can, get in here and kind of get your legs back, it's good, and you actually, float effortlessly in here.
How do you settle into the float?
So you basically kind of just figure out, how you're gonna see how that does it. Once I get pretty much set, laying back, and then commence the floating.
Do you visualize anything when you're in there? Like crossing over Chris Paul or something?
When I first get in, see where my mind goes. A decision I might need to make in my life or something like that, and you kind of just process and take it in. But after that, it's kind of Russian roulette with where my mind goes.
Oh, no freezing.
No, Mr. Simpson. This is a sensory deprivation tank. It blocks out all the external distractions that bombard our souls.
Can you pee in it?
I'll take 2 hours.
Me too. Oh, bud.
This is kind of relaxing, but it's so hard to turn off my brain. I have to stop thinking. Starting now. Hey, it worked! Oh no, that's thinking.
Ting, tang, walla, bing, bang. It's in my chest, boom, 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 boom. I told the witch doctor he had to run a test. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Dad. How was it?
I went on a wild ride without ever leaving the building. How was yours?
Pretty cool.
The after games players have all kinds of rituals and procedures to help them recover. One option for the Cavs seems right out of a science fiction film. News Channel 5's John Cossack live at the Q right now. And John, you got to see what this is all about.
That's right, Danita. The Cavs were frozen out by the Bulls tonight, but now to prepare for Game 2, they are likely to freeze out themselves. As a player, LeBron James has ice water in his veins. This might be why. As this video shows, the Cavaliers now one of a growing number of clubs offering cryotherapy to their players.
It's a really extreme ice bath.
Mary Riley knows about cryotherapy. She owns Synergy Sports Therapy in Berea and was one of the first in the country to offer it to the public.
It's one of those really neat technologies. It's very simple and it's not harmful to the body, but it does so much for you in just a very short amount of time.
Liquid nitrogen is used to cool the air around your body in the cryo sauna to as low as minus 250 degrees.
But it really only affects the outer layers of your skin, and then it allows your body to think that it's super cold.
In just 2 to 3 minutes, your body starts kicking out anti-inflammatory proteins that speed up the healing process.
Cuts that recovery time from 72 to 24 hours.
Synergy treats a lot of pro athletes, mainly Cleveland Browns, who choose this over your traditional ice bath.
You get all the same benefits of an ice bath without actually freezing the tissue of the muscles, so they can be ready to go. They're refreshed.
O'Reilly says that even though cryotherapy is just catching on here in the United States, it's been widely used over in Europe.
Well, we gotta take care of the body in between games, right? So we're gonna freeze our balls off right quick. And what I mean by that is we're gonna do some cryotherapy.
Cryotherapy. Have you ever done this?
I have. Have you?
No. Is it torture?
Not at all. It's a quick 3 minutes. You'll be all right.
What's first?
We gotta go change first. In separate rooms.
What does cryotherapy do for you guys?
It's like 10 times better than the ice tub. That's how I look at it.
How often do you guys do this?
I do it once a week.
Once a week? Yeah.
I try to get at least one.
Who's first?
I'll go first.
All right. Bold and the beautiful. Let's go now. Oh, and you going with your slippers, Steph?
Oh yeah, straight slippers. Bigfoot style. You gotta turn every little bit so you get that even, like it's like a tanning booth. You know what I mean?
So Steph, describe the feeling in there. How cold is it now?
And right now I'm looking at this monitor and it says -116. Woo!
So why do you put yourself through this?
I just feel like it makes me feel better and helps me recover fast. So this is an opportunity for me to take care of my body. No pain, no gain.
Oh, he's done?
Yeah.
All right. Nothing to it. You next? Oh, man. All right, guys. Any tips for a first timer?
I got nothing for you, man. You just gotta do it.
Yeah?
Gotta get it over with.
Just get it over with?
We're here, we're at the cryo chamber. So wait, so we stand in the cryo chamber. Gregory, you know how it works?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what's the deal? Do you mind being on camera, Gregory? It's too late, but do you?
No, I don't mind.
You don't mind, all right. How cold does it get in there, Gregory? -185 degrees Fahrenheit.
You're gonna be absolutely nude.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be absolutely nude, especially if it's cold in there. All right, here we go. We're going into the chamber. Oh, that's really cold. You want to turn every 15 seconds. This is the opposite of rotisserie gold. How long to stay in? 3 minutes? No, not 3 minutes. It's really cold. Okay.
When it starts burning, that's when it starts counting. You see, that's what makes you a champion. No pain, no gain.
People meditate and they're like, damn it, I can't stop thinking. Your mind's job is to think. You don't have to stop thinking, you don't act on the thoughts. Just observe what you're thinking. 3, 2, 1. Turn it off! Turn it off!
Step up.
It's really, really cold. Wow!
Yo. Oh, my God.
Oh, yes. You've been in for 20 seconds. No, I'm joking.
We're gonna have Floyd Mayweather come in. He's gonna be the first person to use the machine. We're using liquid nitrogen to cool down the cryosauna to -240 degrees. So you can see here it's frozen over in this tube, this hose that channels the liquid nitrogen into the machine, and this is where it all comes from. So essentially this is a therapy that will replace using ice bath. And this will give you that initial shock where you instantly freeze. It'll oxygenate your blood, pick up enzymes. It actually gets much colder than the ice bath. The ice bath can get to 41 degrees, 40 degrees, where this will drop to -220, -240 Fahrenheit for him to use. And then when you step out of the machine, a minute and a half to 3 minutes later, those enzymes, the proteins in your blood, the oxygenated blood will flow back out and it'll heal whatever it is. If you have joint pain, if you have soreness in your muscles from working out, and that's kind of what we're hoping to do for Floyd, because we know he works out so hard every day that he'll be able to recover and work out harder the next day, and hopefully he will get the best results so that May 2nd he could be at his peak performance.
Have you ever done whole body cryotherapy?
No.
Dude, this is the shit. You gotta try this. This is the latest and greatest thing. Like, I heard about Kobe Bryant using it, but my friend Eddie Bravo, when he was preparing for his match against Royler Gracie at Metamoris, he started using it on a daily basis. And Alan Joban, one of our fighters from 10th Planet who just fought in the UFC, his knee was hurt and he did it twice a day, every day before his last UFC fight, and it totally fixed all the inflammation in his knee. And it's ridiculously good for inflammation, ridiculously good for any aches or pains that you might have, like muscle soreness. Feels this 250 degrees below zero, and it just goes, holy shit, and it pulls all the blood from the surface of your skin down to your core. Then 3 minutes later, when you're out, you know, it's enough time so you're not dying of hypothermia. You go out, and then your body goes, oh, we're okay, and whoosh, it all just rushes out. And it's been explained to me in very technical and scientific terms, all the different mechanisms that are going on in the body that are protecting you from, you know, from this impending death by by cold. And so when your body realizes that it's not happening, like what is the actual mechanism that causes this anti-inflammatory response? But it's way better than these ice baths that people have been taking for a long time, where they sit in these things for 20 minutes. This is way better, and it only takes 3 minutes. It's amazing. You got to try it.
Our series, Pay Attention, looks at how to retrain our focus and recapture our attention under the bombardment of technology and information that distracts us. The average person scrolls through 300 feet of mobile content a day. That's about the equivalent of a football field. We wanted to explore some of the ways people are trying to short-circuit the noise from the mundane to the extreme. That's how I ended up floating in a sensory deprivation tank in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Floating in less than a foot of water, buoyed by 2,000 pounds of salt, I'm weightless. I'm unsure where my limbs end and the water starts, and at some point I lose myself, never falling asleep, but moving into a state of a clear but empty mind. Sensory deprivation. It's about as far as I can get from the chirpy world of breaking news, social media, email, and the rest of what pinballs through our heads.
Cue John.
All the distractions that are in this world are not in the tank.
For the past 6 months, entrepreneur Scott McKenzie has floated 3 to 6 times a week in Southern California.
To have that nothingness and be forced to just decompress, there's something revitalizing about it.
McKenzie says that nothingness has opened up his mind to new business ideas.
What it does is it keeps me more focused. You realize, wow, like my mind had like a whole reboot.
Around since the 50s, floating is now resurfacing as an alternative therapy for physical and mental health. Elite athletes like Golden State Warrior Stephen Curry claim it helps with mental focus.
It's the only place that I've found in this world that you can eliminate all the senses, basically. To be able to try to master your thoughts, you rarely ever find an opportunity to do that.
The neat part about floating is there's actually nothing for you to do.
We met neuropsychologist Justin Feinstein at the Laureate Institute for Brain Research.
And here we get to see how well she's able to maintain stillness.
He studies the impact of flotation therapy on patients with anxiety disorders and PTSD.
Welcome to our open float room. We created a room around the pool that was built to be soundproof, light-proof, temperature-controlled. In fact, we're trying to match the temperature of the water to the temperature of your skin. Okay. Which is a few degrees cooler than core, so about 95 degrees.
He is one of the few scientists researching floating, which is how I ended up here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We're gonna turn you into a bionic man. Just do this.
May I? You may. Wearing a wireless waterproof EEG on my forehead, a heart rate monitor, and a blood pressure cuff. In other words, the worst superhero Halloween costume. If I am in the busy world of constant interruptions, shredded attention, how can a good float help me with that?
Think about what a strange world our brains find themselves in. Suddenly inundated with 24/7 connectivity. So here, in many ways, you have the ultimate form of disconnection.
While I marinated, Feinstein monitored my vitals next door. My heart rate dropped by 20 beats a minute, and my blood pressure dropped more than 20 points. I was not asleep, but powered down to just a flicker.
By the end of the float, you were getting to about 2 to 3 breaths a minute, which was incredibly low.
So low that there is a biological effect on the brain, essentially telling it to quiet down.
If you look at the first 21, 23 minutes, on the float, you see more activity, which is not uncommon. You're trying to relax.
Neurophysiologist Ricardo Gil da Costa developed the technology that measured my brain activity.
This is the point when you turn off your lights. This is your brain relaxing.
After 65 minutes of floating in silent darkness, I was relaxed but also energized, and I had totally lost track of time. I could go for that every day. I don't think my office can fit that, but that would be great. An hour in the tank, however, is not for everyone.
Some people might find that very restful. Some people might find that it freaks them out.
Dr. Philip Muskin is a psychiatrist at New York Presbyterian Columbia University.
I don't think it's for everyone. The problem in a busy day, you're taking an hour off to go to a flotation tank where there are other things you could do that might really benefit you.
Can the process of taking these breaks, emptying your mind, help me control my attention?
Yes. Attention is a biological phenomenon. When you empty your mind, be that by breath, flotation, meditation, exercise, it works by allowing our brains to do some discharge of the junk and let us go back to work.
I don't know if this is going to be the solution, ultimately, to all of the problems that technology may end up causing our nervous system. But it seems like a very simple way to at least give a respite.
Feinstein is in the middle of his research. It's still experimental. The big discovery would be if those who use a float tank become so familiar with its quietude that they can access it even when they're not in the tank.
I thought it was very cool. It seems like the ultimate in meditation. I didn't like the part where the top, though, comes down on you. I think that would creep me out a little bit.
It's so dark. The second time I did it, I just kept my eyes open, and you can't see anything.
And I'm thinking next time wear your Speedo. That will really enhance the experience. Because I think less clothes in there, the better. I really do.
When I did the second time, you're not wearing anything at all.
Yeah, I could get that.
You can find out more about the experience.
Picture that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not going to be able to get this picture out of my mind.
Including what it's like to keep your eyes open for an hour in total darkness by visiting CBSThisMorning.com.
I liked it a lot.